A student of mine wrote me an email that he's having trouble with calcium spalls on his pottery. And it's from a clay that I showed him that I also use. And I haven't had any problems with calcium spalls in mine. So in this video, I'm going to talk a little bit about calcium spalls, what causes them, how to avoid them, how to go about testing your clay to find out if it's in fact the clay or the temper that's causing the problem.
This week I'm camping out at my property near the base of the Chiricahua Mountains in southeast Arizona, teaching the second of my 2 spring pottery workshops. And I just wanted to take a minute to show you my setup for teaching pottery in a primitive location like this. So I just bought this really cool shade cloud shelter, which offers us a nice outdoor classroom, provides shade throughout the day, works out perfect. I've got 10 students, they all fit in there with plenty of space. And this is new this year, I just bought. In fact, this is the first time I've even had this shelter set up. And then the other thing I think that's kind of important, because this is a primitive location, is my camper. Not only does the camper give me a nice place to sleep and a little bit of privacy and that sort of thing, but it's also important because then I have a restroom available for my students. I also have, like a refrigerator and other things that are kind of important, because I provide lunches for the class, and I can keep lunch meat and lettuce and things like that cold, mayonnaise. Between the camper and the shade cloud shelter and, a few tables and chairs and 40 acres of land, we kind of have everything we need out here for the class. Now, some of the students camp out here on my property, and others stay at Airbnbs and hotels and stuff a little further away. Pretty good setup. I'll probably teach 1 or 2 of these in the fall as well. If you're interested in taking one of my workshops, I'll put the link here on the screen and down in the doobly-doo to where you can check on that on my website. And also, if you sign up for my email newsletter, which only comes out once a month, you'll be alerted when a new workshop is scheduled.
If you happen to get calcium in your clay, it can cause huge problems. What causes the problem is this. If during the firing your temperature gets above something like 820 degrees Celsius, then that calcium carbonate will turn into calcium oxide. Now, calcium oxide is sometimes sold in the hardware store as quicklime. If then your pot gets wet or damp, and this doesn't even have to be actual water, it can be humidity in the air. If your pot gets damp, then that calcium oxide turns into calcium hydroxide, and when it does that, it expands. So you've got these little pockets of calcium oxide inside your pot. They're like ticking time bombs waiting to get wet. And when they do, they expand and cause these pops or spalls. And it can be just in a small area, or it can be all over your pot. And in the end, these kind of spalls can actually completely destroy the pot, making it just fall apart. So you definitely want to avoid this problem. Okay, it's the last day of our spring pottery workshop, and we're about to fire this pottery. So we've got it all sitting here preheating around the fire. Here's all the students that have made their pottery, and they're all anxious to get them fired so they can go home and get the hell out of here. They all made some really great pottery this week. It's just warming up around the fire, and in just a second, I'm going to start stacking that pottery over the coals, and we can get this done. It is what time? 8. Yeah, it's just after 8. So hopefully we'll be out of here by 10:30, 11 o'clock. It is difficult to work with. Ooh, look at that bad coal. No kidding. Well, now it's
But it wires you up.
Now, where does calcium come from in your clay? Calcium in your clay can come from 2 different sources. It can be either naturally in the clay where you dig it, or it can be in the temper that you're adding to your clay. Both of these are potential sources, so you need to be really careful. When you dig your clay, look at it. If you see little white specks in it, do a little acid test. Pour a little vinegar or something acidic on it and see if it fizzes. If it does, that's probably calcium. The same goes for temper though. If your temper has limestone or caliche or seashells in it, then that can potentially cause the same kinds of problems. You don't necessarily have to avoid this material, but if you do use it in your clay, you need to make sure you keep your firing temperatures below, like I said, around 820 degrees Celsius. Any more than that, and you're going to have problems with spalls. But that firing temperature problem is exactly why this is such a perplexing problem for me and this student of mine who's having this problem with calcium spalls. You see, I've used the same clay that he's using, except it's possible that I just haven't fired mine as hot as he's firing his, and therefore, even though this clay may have calcium in it, I'm not seeing the same problems. So in his email, my friend tells me that he's having these problems with calcium spalls, but he also tells me he's made a mistake that many of us that deal with wild clay have made, and that is he's not keeping good records. Because this calcium oxide is activated by moisture, sometimes the problem doesn't show up until months after you've made the pot, and the pot is sitting on your shelf and it's looking pretty, and all of a sudden you start seeing these pops appear. So at this point, he doesn't remember what clays or tempers he used on these particular pots. I think most of us have been there at some point. So now he's going back and he's trying to work his way through and figure out what clays he was using and whether or not there was calcium in those clays. There's a particular clay that we call Red Hill Ranch that came from near Tucson that he thinks may be the culprit. Then he asked me, have you had problems with Red Hill Ranch? And I haven't. But like I said, I might not be firing it as hot as he is. So that makes it especially hard to kind of troubleshoot these calcium spalls, because some people may be getting them while others aren't, who are using exactly the same material based on how you're firing.
Hot dogs in your truck?
He made some buffalo broth and now they're rub and
That's the shoulder here and the leg shirt in my hand. So I have to listen.
There's one stoplight, Gilbert.
Yeah.
All hay fields. Too hot to stay in there very long, isn't it, Andy?
So as I've said, it can be very difficult to troubleshoot these problems with calcium spalls because you may or may not be firing hot enough to activate that calcium. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go home and I'm going to take a sample of that Red Hill Ranch clay. And I'm going to make sure I temper it with something that has zero chance of having calcium in it. In this case, I'm going to use grog, ground up sherds, as my temper. That way I'm making sure that if there are calcium spalls, the only culprit can be the clay. Going to make a little test pot and I'm going to fire it really hot. And I'm going to measure the temperature in that firing. I'm going to make sure that I get up at least to 850 or 900 degrees Celsius to make sure that I've activated that calcium. Then I'm going to take that little pot and I'm going to get it wet. I'm going to get it good and soaked all the way through, and I'm going to sit it on a shelf and wait and see if those calcium spalls appear. If they do, then I can tell my friend that in fact it is the clay that is causing the problem. If not, however, he's going to have to look at some other sources as the culprit.
Here it comes, Wally.
Mine are gonna be black inside. Look at that. I love that.
Got a little oxygen in over on this side.
I was a little worried about this pendant because it starts to start as your temper because it's real fine, and so you can sand it. And, yeah.
So that's it. The last spring pottery workshop from 2023 is wrapped up. All the students have got their pottery and headed home. I've just got to hook up my camper and head home myself now. I've been out here for 6 days, so I'm ready for a little break myself. If you'd like to learn a little more about calcium in your pottery, I made a video last year that's a deep dive on the problems of calcium in your pottery. I'm going to link that up right over here. Go check that out, learn more about calcium. I appreciate you watching today. I'll catch you next time.